Welcome to Elevated Student. We are a top student program based on leadership and mentorship that helps students get to the schools that they want to. A lot of changes are happening in the industry, and that is the reason we need to really take notice. Uber, for example, is the world's biggest company that owns no cars, and yet it owns the largest fleet of vehicles. So something definitely is happening in the industry, and that is the reason there's a need for a very unconventional program. Perhaps there is a better way, or maybe there is not, but what matters is we got to do something differently. You see, most prep programs will tell you what to do. How do you get to the school of your dreams? What we have done is we have developed a program which complements those kind of programs by telling you and helping you get to where you want by showing you how to get there. For example, I don't think there's anybody who really wants to buy a hammer and a nail just for the sake of buying them. I think what most people basically want is they want to drill a hole so they could do something with it. That is the exact reason, which means what you want to become in life is equally important to us as your college. So you see, the world is changing, and which is the reason we designed this program to be very contemporary. As you grow up and you get to the colleges and the schools of your choice, when you graduate, the world would be completely different, which means you'll be working with connected cars, robots, 3D printed homes. There's going to be disruption everywhere. As a human being, you'll be working hand in hand with robots, for example, in artificial intelligence. Typically, what happens when things are disruptive, if you look at the career that you really want, previously, students used to go to university or college to just learn a subject. Well, those things are changing because now students are being asked to learn skills. So think of this. When you graduate, if machines and AI are going to be doing a lot of work, what would you be doing? What would your jobs be? So I believe that our jobs or your jobs when you graduate will always be about creative problem solving, which means if you've got to, when transformation happens, companies hire a lot of people who have that creativity to solve problems, because solving problems is all about design thinking, understanding what are the challenges to how can a company solve the problems to become better, to transform themselves. That's how you're going to make money. And our theory is that we do not look at one size fits all, which means we look at people's uniqueness. So this is how we look at it, which means, first of all, we design a 10-year goal. We ask you to dream and dream hard. What do you want to be in 10 years from now? Isn't that the reason everybody is thinking of going to college? And that is how we design your goals to go to school. And we suggest that you experiment while at school as well. Currently, you are right here, which means we are deciding how you want to get to these top schools and top colleges so you can get to the dreams of your choice. Now, what we don't do is we are not here to advise you about your GPA. So, complete no-no. We are also not there to tell you which schools you should be joining. It is the work of your counselor. So, it's kind of a no-no from our side too. And we are not there to advise you on SAT and ACT. So while these are all no-no, we also believe that it is your responsibility to do all of them. And we always say you should. You should focus on these all the time. Now, the question that arises at this moment of time is, you must be saying, wait, what do you do? So what we do is we designed a program for high school students where we assess you, we set the goals and help you develop your uniqueness. That's what top schools look for. What are you unique? Can you blend with the rest of the crowd? And because they are all tasks with one goal, that is, how do you make diversity work? So if you are unique, can you blend in? So that's the reason you have to work on real hands-on projects over here. You've got to solve problems and get used to it. You've got to create impact, create the proof of achievement, and then get the recommendations that show that you've done something great. And we help you package all these together so ultimately you look so impressive that the schools look at you and say, oh my God, this is the person that we want. It's simple. If you want to go into the depths of what we do, so as I said, we assess you, and the assessment takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of mentorship. So we talk about what are you passionate about? What's your personality? Have you even done a personality test? What are your goals? How do you want to create impact on others? Those are the things colleges and schools look for. What are your professional goals? And where do you want to go? So, long story short, we get you to understand and clarify the why and the what. We bring crystal clear clarity, which is what are the top three professions that you want to go for? Would you be happy if you do those top three professions by keeping a backup plan? What's your college of choice? And then if you want to create impact on the world, are you aligned well or you're not? And of course, if you have set your professional goals, are you sure? Or if you're not, let's go back again and complete the process. And are you there you wanted to? So basically what we are doing is we simply align you with what we talked about, which is a 10-year, 5-year, and a 1 to 2 year goal. Which means now, if you have to plan for university, which ones? Study what? And then what are your major? What would be your minor? And apart from that, we ensure that if you have selected all these schools, have you spoken with the alumni? Have you spoken with students? Have you done your homework? Or else we're going to help you do that. Now, you are totally aligned, which means you are pretty much set, and it makes a world of difference if you complete this process. Our focus is we tell you, just be you. That's what matters over here. We don't really look at you as one size fits all, but rather customize everything based on who you are. And as we say, you are unique, so just be you. So what we did is we took the best of both worlds. For example, on the left, you can see what MIT's culture is, and you can see some of the great articles that Alan Cheng has written from Prep Scholar, and you should go through it. We combined both of them, and we developed an amazing 5-step process, which is we align you, we ensure that you solve problems, and you gain that real world experience. You create the impact, and because it's real, you are going to be expanding your network so other people say how good you are. And then once you've got the proof of work, we get to work on the recommendations, and then we package up everything so now you look impressive. It does take some time, and we always say, get early. So we can talk about Shravya, who was one of our successful candidates, and you can see this is Shravya's 10-year, 5-year, and 3-month to 1-year goal, and this is what you're going to go through. She had a project, and the project was to solve the problem of unemployment for people with disabilities. And how is she going to do so? She's going to work with multiple startups as a product manager because Shravya's goal was to become a project or a product manager at Google. So we wanted her to experience that. So her goal is to engage with multiple startups and see how she can ensure that technology can help better the lives of people with disabilities. And as you realize, based on her work, she started to work with MIT and Harvard startups, and she was pretty successful. It did take some work, of course, right? But then the result of the program is that she started getting recommendations. So, of course, everybody's used to getting a teacher's or school or a counselor's recommendation, but those who were impacted by Shravya's work actually recommended her. And then, of course, from Project Starfish, we gave her a glowing recommendation. So, point to be noted is you can do what you're doing at school, but what matters is what are you doing outside of school? And that's what most schools are looking for, and that's the reason these recommendations matter. So, what happened during the phase of these recommendations and the process that she went through, she learned a lot. She became mature. She had a hands on experience, and her recommendations were real, nothing fake in it. So, our point is that everyone does what they're doing at school. But what matters is how do you differentiate yourself? And that's exactly what schools are talking about. They want impressive people, period. So, what happened to Shravya? Well, did she go to Harvard? So, most people say, or most people think, like, hey, tell us a amazing rags to riches story. Did she get into Harvard or MIT? Well, you realize that we are not into those, tall tales. Our goal is very simple. We work around you. We look at you as unique, which means her goal was to study computer science at a top tier, top 100 school. Her GPAs, unfortunately, only allowed her to be at a tier 3 school. It's sad, but that's the process. And after our program, through early admission, she got into Purdue, Urbana-Champaign, and of course Drexel. So the point is, what did she go for? Well, she went for Urbana-Champaign, which is a top, I think, 25 school. So she was not expecting it because most people told her she can only get to a tier 3 school. So what do we do? Do we promise that you go to the Harvards and the MITs and the Cornells of the world? That's really not what we do. Our job is, think of this, you put in your effort alone, perhaps you can get to a tier 2 or a tier 3 school. But if we work together and if you come to our organization for mentorship by working on these hands-on projects and following the process, you might be able to elevate yourself to a tier 1 school. Isn't that wonderful? And if you start early and work even harder, I can bet you that it is not only the fact that you're going to be impressive, you'll elevate yourself. That's exactly the reason we tell you that what we do is we elevate a student to achieve their dreams. Thank you for watching.